Connor, come in.
You realize we don't have much time, Eric.
This shouldn't take long.
Hello, Connor.
Stephanie.
We wanted to spend a few minutes with you before the hearing just to be certain that we weren't uncomfortable together.
Well, I'm not representing you or Stephanie. I'm representing Thorne.
That's a problem of perception on your part, then, Mr. Davis. That's something you've never understood about this family. If you represent one of us, you represent all of us.
You'll have to answer to all of us if you mishandle this thing.
Thorne hired me, and I will have to answer to him and only him. I will not be badgered by the two of you.
Well, I don't think anyone wants to badger you if your reputation is what you think it is, and you should be able to take care of this with no difficulty.
This is not going to be a cakewalk, Mrs. Forrester. We have a battle ahead of us.
What kind of bail do you think we're looking at?
I wouldn't be surprised if the prosecution asked for $1 million.
Well, if you're doing your job, you should be able to bring that down.
I will do my best.
That's all that we expect of you.
Look, Connor, if we are giving you a hard time, it's because this family's had a very bad week. We're counting on you to handle this for us.
That's my job, and I intend to do it well. Shall we go?
I'll get the car.
So, isn't that a great idea?
Does Thorne know?
Not yet. Macy's going to tell Thorne right before the hearing.
Oh my gosh, a wedding tonight!
It is a perfect romantic ending to what is going to be a very successful day in court.
What about the chapel, the minister?
It's all arranged. All we need now is a bride and a groom.
Well, I'll take care of the bride. I'll bring Macy, and Connor can bring Thorne.
Exactly. And that is exactly what he is going to do. I am so sure of that I have ordered a limousine to show up at the courtroom. Now, all Connor has to do is make the bail for Thorne, deliver him to the limousine, and it's off to the chapel.
Oh my gosh, Sal, I bet Stephanie Forrester just about fell out of her chair when she heard about this.
Actually, I haven't mentioned it to Stephanie yet.
What?
You mean she doesn't know?
So, this is one of those times when you just have to be spontaneous, you know? You have to sort of go with the flow. I know I'm right. It is time for Thorne and Macy to put this whole ordeal behind them and get on with their lives.
That's right. You know, I agree with Sally. They should have been married yesterday. And I don't think there's any reason that they should wait any longer.
I hope that Eric and Stephanie see things the same way.
Well, so do I, so. So do we all. But even if they don't, it doesn't matter, because there's going to be a wedding, okay? Now, let's go over to the courthouse, arrange the bail, and then we'll celebrate.
Yeah.
I'll wait near the door.
Honey, please forgive me. You know I never meant to doubt you.
You're forgiven.
We're gonna get you out of here. And after that, well, let's just say I have a pretty big surprise.
I just want a hot shower.
You'll get that. And then some.
You have something up your sleeve?
Would you believe a wedding? We're getting married tonight.
Hey, Macy? Hello? Hey, Macy, you shouldn't leave your front door open like that, not after what happened to... Oh, Dylan, hey. Hey, Anthony. How you doing? Grab a seat. How about some iced tea? No, no thanks. Where's Macy? Oh, she's down at the courthouse. It's Thorne's bail hearing today. Oh. Anything special you want to see Macy about? No, not really. You know, you're looking a little spacey there, Dylan. Well, yeah, I guess I am. What's the problem? Well, Anthony, I'm kind of surprised you have to ask me that. I mean, I was pretty good friends with Ivana. Well, yeah, sure, I know. Well, I just can't seem to get her out of my mind. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hell of a lady. Yeah. I mean, she had her problems, but considering the way she was brought up and all. You know about that? Yeah. Yeah, we used to talk a lot. What a life, huh? Yeah, well, people think it's a breeze, you know, working as a model. Well, not when you start at her age. I mean, that's got to be a lot of pressure, right? Well, her mom was just too aggressive, I thought. You know, taking her out of school, shipping her off to New York City. Actually, Anthony, it was Paris. Right, yeah, well, whatever. Hey, are you hungry? I got some leftover Chinese here. It's looking pretty good. No, actually, I can't get into food these days. Yeah, I know what you mean. Life just really isn't the same, is it? Well, I've got to say, you seem to be doing just fine.
Are you serious? We're getting married tonight?
As soon as the judge sets bail, we are out of here. Mother has it all planned.
I don't believe it.
Well, of course, if you'd rather not.
No, are you kidding? What's the deal? Where are we doing it?
Same as the other day.
Same chapel?
Yeah. Same minister without all the frills.
Oh, sweetheart, you can't know how much I need this.
Oh, I think I can.
This is the first positive moment for me since this whole thing came down.
I know. Me too.
I was so concerned about getting out on bail. I had no idea we would ever get married tonight.
Come here. That's not all you'll be getting tonight.
Oh, will you relax, Saul? It's just security. It's for your own good.
I hate those damn things.
Oh, come on, Saul, it was just a metal detector. It's not like it was gonna bite you or anything, you know?
Azoy, my friend Joe Levinson lost every gold filling in his mouth after passing through one of those.
Oh, please.
Hey, look over there. You want to see something wonderful? Look.
Can't have that.
Hey, wait a minute. Come on, handsome. Give him a break. They're getting married tonight.
He's a prisoner.
I know that. But in an hour, he won't be. And I promise you one thing. I will be your worst nightmare for life if you disturb those two people now.
Mom, guys.
Saved by the bell.
She wasn't kidding.
Well, I told Thorne about our big plans.
Sally, you are the best.
Oh, darling. My pleasure. Listen, what'd I tell you? Doesn't Sally always take care of everything, huh? How are you, Stephanie?
Well, I'm not happy, and I'm not going to be happy until we get the situation resolved.
Of course. Listen, about that, we got a kind of celebration planned for after the hearing today. I hope that you and Eric can join us.
Oh, Sally, I don't think Thorne's going to want to celebrate anything. I think he probably just want to go home.
Actually, Stephanie, Thorne and Macy are going to get married.
What?
Yeah. I've arranged the whole thing. I got the chapel, I got the minister, I've even got a limousine coming here to pick them up.
Are you telling me this now?
Yeah, well, I only got the idea a couple of hours ago.
Oh, well, that alone should have told you it was a bad idea.
Oh, no. It's a wonderful idea. Macy thinks so does Thorne.
Sally, he has been through a grueling experience. I'm sure that the only thing my son is going to want to do is just go home.
Yeah, well, okay. look, I don't want to argue with you. The fact is, I think Thorne is going to come through this hearing just fine. And when he does, he's going to get married. There's going to be a wedding. I'd love for you and Eric to be there. But if you'd rather not, if you'd rather stay home, fine. It's up to you.
All rise. Hear ye, hear ye. The court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Colton presiding.
What did you just say?
Well, you just don't seem terribly broken up, do you?
Meaning?
Oh, come on, Anthony. Come on, look at you. You're here sunbathing, listening to music, eating food.
So I can't be in pain, is that it? Listen, my friend, I am trying. I am desperately trying to hold it together. And it galls me to hell to have you standing here copping an attitude.
Mr. Clerk, call the first case.
People versus Forrester.
What do we have here, counsel?
A motion to set bail, Your Honor. The defendant was arrested yesterday.
What is the charge?
Murder, first degree. Your Honor, we submit that because of the nature of this crime, bail should be substantial.
The defendant, Your Honor, has no prior record. He's a respected businessman. He's lived here all his life. His ties to the community are substantial.
Yes, I'm aware of the Forrester family.
Well, then, Your Honor realizes that the defendant represents no risk of flight.
I would like to hear more about the case, Counselor.
The victim, Ivana Vandervelde, was accosted and threatened by the defendant, Your Honor, in her apartment.
You have a witness to that?
The best. She called 911 for help.
What was the content of the call?
Well, the victim complained that the defendant was there at the time threatening her. She asked for police assistance. Now, when the beat car came by, not 15 minutes later, she was found, stabbed to death with a letter opener, multiple wounds. Now, we've traced the weapon to the defendant. And we've also identified his prints on it. Also, we found his prints all over the victim's apartment and on a flashlight left at the scene.
Any statements?
Well, the defendant has admitted being at the victim's apartment, but denies killing her.
Mr. Davis.
Your Honor, Mr. Forrester's reputation speaks for itself, I believe. He's not the type of person to commit the crime that the prosecutor has described.
I think I'd like to hear some evidence about the defendant's character before I make a decision.
All right, Your Honor. We would like to call Macy Alexander.
Swear in the witness.
Anthony, you don't have to get so angry.
You think I'm angry? I'll show you angry. You've not seen anything yet, Dylan.
You know, it's almost like you're defensive.
Listen, my lady is dead. She is dead, murdered. You know what that feels like? My heart has been ripped right out of my chest, sliced up and shoved in my face. I've got nothing left, nothing. So yeah, I'm catching a few rays, so what? It's been a hell of a couple of days. And my lady, my beautiful Ivana, is lying down there in that morgue. She is dead. She is cold. She is gone. Just get the hell out of here, Dylan. Come on, just get lost.
Look, Anthony, I'm sorry.
Macy, how long have you known Thorne?
For about 5 years.
And you're engaged to be married, isn't that right?
Yes.
I'm sure you know other people that know Thorne.
A lot of people, yes.
And what is his reputation amongst those people, if you can tell us, for being a peaceable and law-abiding citizen?
Thorne has a wonderful reputation. He's the kindest and most gentle person that I've ever known.
What are your plans
once Thorne is released?
We plan to be married tonight.
And where do you intend to live?
In Los Angeles. Thorne's business, his family and friends are all here.
Did you know the deceased, Ivana Vanderveld?
Yes, quite well.
And what was the nature of your relationship?
Well, we were friends. We were good friends. In fact, she was going to be my maid of honor. And to think for 1 minute that Thorne killed her is just ridiculous, because Thorne is just not the kind of person that would do...
Would you please explain to the witness that my purpose here is merely to determine the question of bond and not Mr. Forrester's guilt or innocence?
Your Honor, I'm sure that you can understand that the witness is under a great deal of stress. Her marriage ceremony with the defendant was literally interrupted by his arrest.
Now, let me ask you, Mr. Davis, what kind of bond are you prepared to make?
We're prepared to make any reasonable bond, Your Honor.
And, Mr. Danforth, what is the state's recommendation?
$1 million. Secured, Your Honor.
$1 million? That's way out of line.
Your Honor, if I can question the witness, I think I can show that $1 million is more than appropriate.
Proceed, Mr. Danforth.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Now, you say you've known Mr. Forrester for about 5 years?
Yes, sir.
And you and Mr. Forrester were married at one time before, were you not?
Yes, sir.
And that marriage ended in divorce, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
So I think it's safe to say that there was a time when you didn't think that Mr. Forrester was the kindest, most gentle man that you'd ever known, isn't that right?
Objection, Your Honor. This is not cross-examination. Prosecution is prying into an area that has no relevance here.
Sustained. Watch yourself, Mr. Danforth.
Tell us, how did you meet the victim?
She worked at Forrester Creations.
For the defendant.
For Thorne and his family.
Did you know whether the defendant and the victim ever had any kind of a personal relationship?
They dated for a while.
When?
Several months ago, when Thorne and I were estranged.
And then they broke it off. And the two of you got back together, isn't that right?
Yes.
Was it a friendly breakup? Miss Alexander?
A breakup is never completely friendly, Mr. Danforth.
In other words, there was some bad blood between them, isn't that right?
I wouldn't call it bad blood, no.
Now, what would you call it then?
Ivana didn't want to let go. But she did eventually, and we all became friends. We even had dinner together.
So, Thorne was in favor of your choice of Ivana as maid of honor. Oh, you being friends and all. But wasn't he?
No.
Why not?
Something else happened.
Something else. What?
Objection, Your Honor. I fail to see how this has any relevance.
Overruled. Answer the question, Miss Alexander.
I started to receive some letters. Threatening letters. And Thorne thought that Ivana was sending them.
Your maid of honor.
Yes.
And did you agree?
No.
So was this a bone of contention between you and Thorne? Did you argue about it?
Not really.
Not really. What does that mean? Maybe?
It became irrelevant, Mr. Danforth.
When?
When Thorne...
Go on, Miss Alexander. When Thorne what?
When Thorne told me that Ivana wouldn't be showing up for the wedding.
And when did he tell you that?
The night before the wedding.
The night Ivana was killed. Isn't that right, Miss Alexander?